The settlement alarm shrieked across Colony 7's perimeter as the massive shadow descended from the crimson sky. Thyrax crashed into the crystalline forest beyond the defensive walls, his impact sending shockwaves that rattled windows and set off every proximity sensor for half a kilometer. Commander Hayes ordered an immediate lockdown. Through reinforced observation windows, the colonists watched the creature thrash among the shattered crystal trees, its obsidian scales catching the light of 3 suns. Thyrax was a draconid, one of the apex predators of the Kepler 442b system, a species that had ended more than one human expedition with brutal efficiency. "Stay inside," the commander's voice echoed through every home speaker. "Military units are assessing the threat." 12-year-old Lena Hayes pressed her face against her bedroom window, ignoring her father's orders like she ignored most rules that didn't make sense to her. While adults saw a monster, Lena saw something different. The way Thyrax moved, the desperate quality of his roars, the way he kept pawing at his massive jaw with talons that could shred titanium. He wasn't attacking, he was suffering. The military drones circled overhead, weapons armed, waiting for the command to eliminate the threat. Lena had maybe 10 minutes before they opened fire. She'd seen what plasma cannons did to living tissue during training simulations. It wasn't pretty. She grabbed her emergency kit, the one her father made her carry everywhere, and slipped out through the maintenance hatch in her closet. The tunnels beneath the colony had been her secret highway for months, ever since she'd discovered that the sanitation system connected to the outer vents. The crystal forest floor crunched beneath her boots as she emerged 200 meters from the downed draconid. Up close, Thyrax was even more magnificent and terrifying than the holovid suggested. He stood nearly 8 meters tall even while crouched, his wingspan easily twice that when extended. Bioluminescent patterns pulsed along his spine in what she recognized as distress signals. Thyrax's head swung toward her, and for a moment, Lena's courage faltered. His eyes were the color of neutron stars, burning with an intelligence that made her skin prickle. His lips peeled back, revealing rows of crystalline teeth, each one longer than her arm. Then she saw it, a massive shard of quantum glass lodged deep in his palate, right where his secondary breathing passages connected. Blood the color of liquid mercury dripped from his jaws. Every breath he took drove the shard deeper. "Easy," Lena whispered, her voice barely audible over the drone of military units getting into position. "I know it hurts," Thyrax growled, a sound that vibrated through her bones and made her teeth ache. The military channel crackled in her stolen earpiece. "Target locked. Firing sequence in 60 seconds. 60 seconds to do something impossible." Lena dropped her emergency kit and pulled out the Medigel, the nano-suture kit, and her father's laser cutter that she'd definitely borrowed without permission. She held up her empty hands and took a step forward. "I'm not here to hurt you," she said, knowing the translation matrix in her earpiece would convert her words to the subsonic frequencies draconids understood. "I'm here to help." Thyrax's membranes flared, a threat display that should have sent her running. Instead, Lena took another step, then another. 30 seconds to firing, the military channel announced. "That thing in your mouth," Lena continued, pointing at her own jaw. "I can remove it, but you have to let me get close. You have to trust me." For a moment that stretched into eternity, girl and dragon stared at each other. Then slowly, impossibly, Thyrax lowered his massive head until it rested on the crystal-strewn ground. His jaw opened, revealing the horror of the impaled shard and the damaged flesh surrounding it. The stench of alien blood and something like burning ozone hit Lena like a physical force. She fought down her gag reflex and climbed onto his lower jaw, her boots slipping on the slick surface of his tongue. 15 seconds. Her hands shook as she activated the laser cutter. The quantum glass was embedded at an angle that made extraction tricky. One wrong move and she'd slice through his breathing passages. One wrong move and they'd both die when the plasma cannons fired. She pressed the cutter against the glass base and began to work. Thyrax's entire body tensed. A low keen escaped his throat, but he held perfectly still, his star-bright eyes never leaving her face. Lena carved through the material with precision born of desperation, her heart hammering so hard she thought it might burst from her chest. 5 seconds. The final bit of quantum glass came free with a sickening wet sound. Lena grabbed the shard, nearly a meter long and covered in mercury blood, and threw it aside. She emptied the entire canister of Medigel into the wound, watching as the nanobots went to work knitting torn flesh. Fire command authorized. Stop! Commander Hayes' voice overrode all channels. Cease fire!
Cease fire!
Lena climbed out of Thyrax's mouth and tumbled onto the ground, her legs shaking so badly she could barely stand. The dragon lifted his head, working his jaw experimentally. The bioluminescent patterns along his spine shifted from distressed red to a calm, pulsing blue. Then Thyrax did something that made every xenobiologist in the colony gasp when they reviewed the footage later. He lowered his head again and gently pressed his snout against Lena's chest, a gesture that their databases confirmed was the Draconid equivalent of a trust bond. Military units surrounded them within minutes, but no one dared fire. Commander Hayes arrived with a full tactical team, his face cycling through about 17 different emotions when he saw his daughter standing unharmed beside a creature that could have swallowed her whole. "Lena Hayes," he said in his commander voice, the one that made seasoned soldiers straighten their spines. "You are grounded until you're 30. "Worth it," Lena replied, her hand still resting on Thyrax's scaled jaw. The Draconid spread his wings, the membrane catching the triple sunlight like stained glass, and launched himself skyward. He circled the colony once, a gesture that every human present understood instinctively: gratitude, respect, recognition. As Thyrax disappeared into the crimson clouds, Lena smiled. Her father was going to ground her until the heat death of the universe, and the colony psychologist would want about 10,000 sessions to discuss her inappropriate risk assessment. But she'd done something no human had ever done before. She'd looked a monster in the eyes and seen a person. She'd extended trust when everyone else extended weapons. She'd proven that sometimes the bravest thing humans could do wasn't conquer or kill, but heal and help. That was humanity's real superpower. Not superior weapons or advanced technology, but the stubborn, reckless, beautiful ability to show compassion even when every instinct screamed for self-preservation. 3 weeks later, when a Draconid fleet appeared in orbit, the galaxy expected war. Instead, Thyrax himself landed at Colony 7's gates with a delegation of his kind. The first official contact between humans and Draconids began with a single question, transmitted in perfect human speech. "We wish to speak with the small brave one who shows the great heart. We wish to speak with Lena Hayes. The universe would never be quite the same."